computer. طيب, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Welcome to our series for the IVPN clinical research. We started a new series related to the artificial intelligence. We know this is the new trend now in the research field, and we would like to formulate it and to talk about it from different perspective. So today, Dr. Samad Tabba will start it with about the revolution of pharmaceutical research, and later on we will have couple of speakers and topics. So keep following us to attend the rest of series, inshallah. And as usual, please mute. All of us will be muted only until to Sama the question and answer until the end. Certificate will be submitted also after maximum a week to your email. So let's welcome Dr. Samad Tabba, and we'll give her a chance for sure to introduce herself. Thank you, Dr. Sama, for this opportunity with us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nagam. Dr. Nagam is a very good friend, is a dear friend to me, and I am part of the IVPN network, so it is a double pleasure today. Thank you, Nagam, so much for your time. I always enjoy sharing everything with you, even training, everything. So thank you, Habibti, for all your efforts.
Yalla, you are.
Thank you, Habibti. Thank you. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I want to welcome you all in this session. And as Dr. Nagam said, it is the first lecture in the series of artificial intelligence. As you know, artificial intelligence is now booming, and it is here to stay. So anyone who is not sure about artificial intelligence, who is not convinced about artificial intelligence, I think we should all get used to the idea that artificial intelligence is here to stay, and we are never going to go backwards. On the contrary, every day I am getting notifications of new applications in artificial intelligence, of new endorsements of artificial intelligence. So let us all enjoy this lecture. And as Dr. Nagam said, any questions you have, you can ask me at the end of the session. Okay. Before that, I want to welcome you again all, and I want to welcome all our friends who are still joining on the line. I hope you will not be late, because it is an exciting session from the beginning till the end. I promise you, you will never get bored. Okay, let me first introduce myself and a little bit about me. I am Sama Al-Tabba. I am Lebanese. I live in Beirut, Lebanon. And I hold a BS degree in medical laboratory technology from the American University of Beirut, a PharmD in clinical pharmacy from the Lebanese American University, and a master's of business administration from the Lebanese also American University. I held many positions. It began with chief pharmacist officer at the WHO World Health Organization Beirut office. Once I graduated, I held this position for 5 years. And then I was assigned by the WHO as the director of something in Lebanon called Quarantina Drug Distribution Center. It is a big center which distributes medications for free for people who do not have National Social Security Fund. And then along the line, I held many other positions, but they are, I will not mention them now, but the highlight of them was that I made a shift in my career. And I went into research, into clinical research, definitely pharmaceutical clinical research, okay? I founded Mars, which is a company, and I am currently the CEO. It's called Medical Agency for Research and Statistics. And at the same time, I am now a university assistant professor at the University Institute for Nursing Sciences, where I give nurses third year and fourth year courses of pharmacology, of microbiology, and many other courses related to the pharmacy, but needed by the nurses. Okay. Also, I am a operations coordinator with Dr. Ahmed Awaini at IVPN Network Journal Club, and I am at the Lebanese Red Cross. I am a course coordinator at the Clinical Research Department, and finally, I am a researcher and trainer for the whole last 15 years. I am dedicated to that now, okay? I have more than 35 research projects on the national and international level, and currently I am a member or a part of 3 multinational clinical trials. Dr. Nagam is also my co-author and co-partner in many projects. Okay, Nagam, who is our moderator, lovely moderator today. Also, I am a speaker and a trainer for more than 15 years in conferences, workshops, master classes, which are organized by pharmaceutical companies, international organizations, academic institutions, regulatory agencies. I also shared many courses with Dr. Nagam, and we have been delivering that over the past 2 years together. Okay, I have more than 20 articles in peer-reviewed journals published, and I am the author. I wrote a book called, it's a booklet, not a book, called The Clinical Research Process from Initiation to Publication, and it's on Amazon for sale. Okay, I am a volunteer in the Children's Cancer Center in Lebanon, where I really support this center wholeheartedly because it is related to cancer in children, so it really melts my heart. And also, I am a board member of an NGO called Feed the Need. And finally, sorry, I bored you with that. I am an editorial member of 2 peer-reviewed journals, and I am the Lebanese ambassador of the Global Pharmacovigilance Society. This is all about me in brief. Whenever you want, you can contact me for any consultation, any shared project. Maybe we can work together. Okay? Now, our session today, as we said, it is about artificial intelligence and pharmaceutical research. And as you know, pharmaceutical research is a huge sector or a huge domain. So we cannot talk about everything in pharmaceutical research. I chose one domain in pharmaceutical research, which is the drug discovery process. Okay, we will talk about that. So first of all, we will begin talking about a definition and overview of artificial intelligence. What is it? Okay. Then we will talk about applications of artificial intelligence in pharmacy research, and especially in artificial intelligence in the drug discovery development process. Okay. Then I will talk about artificial intelligence in the preclinical research, which is part of the drug discovery and development, artificial intelligence in clinical trials, which are also part of the drug development process. And finally, I will talk about artificial intelligence and pharmacovigilance. So these 3 branches are related to the drug discovery and development. I will show you how. So in the whole process, which is drug discovery and development, artificial intelligence in each part, it is related and it has a hand. Okay? Now, what is artificial intelligence? How do we define it? How do we what is the overview that you have about it? Okay, it is artificial and intelligence. It joins 2 words: artificial, which is related to everything, automation, roboting, electronics, etc., and intelligence, which is the human mind. So artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer or a robot controlled by a computer to do the tasks that are usually done by humans because they require human intelligence or judgment. So I want to tell you something. Artificial intelligence is different from automation. Why? If you have a washing machine, does washing machine go under artificial intelligence? No, it is not artificial intelligence, although it makes functions, and it has functions, and you click a button, you give it an order, it makes a function, but it is an automation. Why? Because you only feed it with one order, it does this order. It doesn't do anything other than that, and it doesn't need any human intelligence. You have wires, you have one computer order, you click the button, you do it. Okay, it does the work. It is other than artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is like a human brain. It talks, it chats with you, it solves problems for you. So please let us not confuse make a confusion or have a confusion between automation and artificial intelligence. Okay, hope you got the point. Now, artificial intelligence in healthcare, as I told you, it is in all sectors of healthcare. It is in training. Training now is led by artificial intelligence. One of the artificial intelligence training-led applications, for example, is this Zoom. Okay, it's through artificial intelligence we are able to interact. and to deliver our training. Diagnosis. Many diseases now in medicine are diagnosed through artificial intelligence. End of life care is assisted by artificial intelligence. Decision making in healthcare is also led by artificial intelligence. Doctors nowadays put all the criteria or all the variables or the input that they have, and they ask the opinion of an artificial intelligence-led program, where they reach a decision regarding the dosage, regarding the decision for a surgery or non-surgery, etc. Treatment, definitely, this is one of the most booming sectors in healthcare, which are led by artificial intelligence. Treatment, they give you the best treatment protocol, and now we have something called precision medicine. Precision medicine, it is the medicine or the treatment that is related to individualized treatment protocols or treatment regimens or treatment dosages, okay? There are no more chemotherapy protocol applied to all. No, nowadays it is as per the patient himself, okay? And finally, in research. So artificial intelligence has hit the research in healthcare and medical research, as well as in pharmaceutical research. And this is what we are going to talk about exactly today, okay? Now, what are the applications of artificial intelligence? There are huge applications. From now until 1 year ahead, we will not be able to even talk about them all, okay? But in pharmaceutical research, describes the research. What is pharmaceutical research before talking about the application of artificial intelligence in pharmaceutical research? Let me define pharmaceutical research. It describes the research that goes or spans the entire spectrum of drug discovery, development, evaluation, up till the regulatory approval and post-marketing. Yani, I will explain that. It begins from the very, very, very first. The pharmaceutical research involves or includes the very first step of getting an idea of a molecule, that this molecule, we are testing it to make it a medication, until the medication is manufactured, and beyond that, until the medication is marketed, and we are doing post-marketing research on it, okay? So it is the whole life cycle. For example, from like a human being, from the moment the mother and the father conceive a baby, from the moment the ovum enters the egg, the sperm enters the egg or the ovum, okay, until this is from the first beginning until we die, okay? So it is the whole process of the drug discovery, development, and evaluation. This is pharmaceutical research. Now, this is it, okay? Pharmaceutical research pathway. We have a very big pathway or a long pathway. It begins from a basic research where we have new insights of a disease, where we design a product, where we begin designing a product, until we have many molecules, we study them, we work on them. We will have drug discovery phase, which is molecular development. We develop the molecule, we formulate it, we carry out pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics studies, and then we apply all that to preclinical research, which is in vivo, okay? In vivo testing, which is in the test tubes, first in test tubes, to see the toxicological and the side effects of a drug. Still, we have no human, okay? And the second part, this is the in vivo and in vitro and in vivo. In vitro is in the test tube, in vivo is in human, in animals, sorry. And then we go to the human testing. So here we have the preclinical, which is in vitro in the test tubes, and then in vivo in animals. And then we go to the human testing, where we begin the clinical research. Here we have the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 clinical research steps or phases. After that, we have the molecule, we have all the studies about it, efficacy studies, side effect studies, etc. We go to the drug approval phase, which is the NDA, new drug application. We go apply for the drug, and we get the approval from the FDA, from the EMA, which is the European Medicine Agency, etc. And finally, we put the medication into market, okay? After putting it into market and selling it, and common people become using it, here we enter the phase 4, which is the phase 4 for efficacy and safety, post-marketing phase, post-marketing surveillance phase, to see the post-marketing effects of the drug. Okay, this is in very, very, very brief and very general. I will go in each one of them and show you artificial intelligence uses and hand of artificial intelligence in each step of them. Okay, let us begin with the first one here, which is the drug discovery here. Okay, the drug discovery and development. Still, we don't have any medication. We don't have even an idea of which molecule will treat this disease. We have a disease, we want a treatment for it. Okay, so this is the phase where we will talk about. Here, we will talk about the designing of a product to stop the disease, the molecular development, the formulation, etc. Okay, now this step, these two steps are more expanded into this slide. The discovery and development of a medication, which is step 1, okay, has many phases. Okay, here it appears as 2 only phases, which are general. If we go in detail, you can see there are 4 phases. The first, and I'll explain. The first phase is target discovery phase. The second phase is target validation phase. Okay, the third phase is lead compound identification, and the fourth phase is lead compound optimization. What does that mean? Okay, what is the process that takes place in each phase? First of all, the goal of this phase, which is target discovery, is to find all the targets. What is the target? The target is identification of a molecule involved in a disease, meaning that, watch out, we are not finding the molecule which is the medication. We look at the disease, for example, diabetes. Which molecule in our body has a defect or is responsible, my molecule, not the medication. Wait, target is the my molecule. Okay, my. Which molecule in my body is responsible to cause diabetes? Why? Because I want to find this defective molecule, and then I want to find lead compounds which will act on this molecule in my body and which will reverse the disease or cure it. Okay, so I want, in this step, target discovery, I want to find which molecule in my body is responsible for this disease, and which molecule in my body I want to ensure that it is the target molecule involved in the disease process. Okay, because the disease also has a process. This molecule gets defected, it will affect 2, 3, 4, etc. Now, after we find this molecule, molecule X, which is responsible for diabetes, okay, I want to eliminate other wrong molecules or targets, because imagine if I find another molecule, this molecule, and I mistake it for another molecule, okay, I will treat this other molecule, I will cause a disease. I will not treat this original disease, which is diabetes. Once the target is identified, this molecule, researchers, they want to validate it. Is it valid? Is it a druggable molecule? This word is used, druggable molecule. See, it's here, meaning that this molecule, it is called a hit. If we hit it, it can modify the biological activity of the body. It can stop the disease. You see what I mean? Because if this molecule is not druggable and I make a drug on it, I will hit it, it will not stop the disease. It must be responsible for the disease, a target molecule, and it must be a druggable molecule. That is, it can be affected by drugs. Then I will find the lead compound. Here I am in the process of the medication, finding the medication. I want to generate a molecule that can interact with the target that is previously identified, which is the target molecule. This is lead compound identification. And finally, after I found the molecule, which is the target, I found the lead compound molecule, which is the medication which will hit this and stop the disease. Now, this molecule that I found, I want to optimize it, modify it to have the increased and the maximum effectiveness and safety of it, polish it, increase its effectiveness in order to have the highest efficacy of it over this target molecule. I hope this is clear. Now, artificial intelligence has a hand in all of this. I missed telling you something. You see all these steps. I will explain each one of them first, And then the slides after, I will go and tell you artificial intelligence, what does it do in each step, in target discovery, in target validation, etc. But I want to make sure that you understand the whole process of drug discovery and development. Okay? Now we finished from the discovery and development phase step. We go to the second step, which is the preclinical research. All of these are all still in vitro and in vivo. The preclinical research involves all of you, you know that we work on animals in the laboratory. We don't get humans and we test on them. The preclinical studies, we do them in order to file for something which is called investigational new drug. Okay, still we don't have a drug, we don't have anything. In this step, we study the efficacy of the medication on rats, on dogs, on rabbits, on monkeys. Then we look for the mechanism of action, and then we do quality control tests, toxicology, potency, consistency, all of these to make sure that I have a new drug that I can apply to human. It is called, and I will file my papers to the FDA under a file called IND, Investigational New Drug Filing, okay, and other regulatory documents. These files must be reviewed, and then they will allow me, okay, this is a medication, it is called investigational new drug, I'm still investigating it, I'm still not in the clinical trial, not even phase 1, okay? And this is a very important phase. By the way, how do they choose animals? Someone asked me once, animals, why do we choose rats or not rabbits? Rabbits, not dogs, not monkeys. Each animal has a certain system in its body which is similar to human system. For example, rats, they have the sexual system, which is related to our system, okay? For example, the way we get pregnant, the way we deliver, etc. So all of this is similar to us. The digestive system in dogs is similar to our system. For example, the rabbits also, they have other systems. Each system, each disease, where does it fit? In which system we bring the animal that is related to it? Okay. Now we finish from the preclinical research. We applied to the IND, which is investigational new drug. We got the approval. We can begin our clinical research. Clinical research where? On human. Here we have human, and we can begin the clinical trials on them. And this is the most important phase in the whole process because it is carried out on human beings. Okay. Now, clinical research or clinical trials in general, there are many types of clinical trials. Okay, let me remove this first. There are many types of clinical trials, but the general scheme or general design of all these three phases are different in something, and they are the same in something else. First of all, these three phases are the same in that they have the same design, which is this one, and I will get back to it. They are different in what? In the objective of each one. The first one, phase 1, you are looking for safety and dosage. We still don't have any dosage, okay? The second one, we're looking for efficacy and side effects. Now we are sure it is safe, we go to efficacy. Before knowing how, trying to find if the medication is effective, I need to know if it's safe. What is the use of an effective medicine if it's going to kill me? Okay, so safety first, then efficacy and some side effects, and then on a broader level, phase 3 goes into efficacy more on a larger number of people and more side effects. I dig more. Okay, now the common about all these is the design. All of you know what are clinical trials. We will not go into details. We have a defined population. For example, the population of Lebanon, we take a sample of it, and then we assess them for eligibility, either eligible to enter in this study, do they have the inclusion criteria that I have put, then I randomize them, I split them into two groups. This is in general. And by the way, from this design, we have many models, okay? We have the parallel, we have the crossover. I will not go into details. It is not within the scope of this lecture. Okay. I will randomize them into intervention group and control group. I follow them over time, and then I will analyze the outcome. This is the broad skeleton of a clinical trial. As I told you, there are some verifications according to the type of clinical trial, according to the phase. We will not go into that. But all clinical trials have this concept. Now, these are the phases, as I told you. We begin with safety, then effectiveness, and then in the phase 3, we confirm effectiveness and we monitor side effects. And here in phase 3, we can even, this medication, compare it to others. I have medication X, which I invented and discovered and developed. I want to compare its efficacy to another medication. Okay, here we can do that and we collect the information. After we collect all this information, we will want approval. We want to put it to people in the market. We want to sell it. We want doctors to begin prescribing it. What do? We file something called NDA. We have this medication. It is approved by us, by the results of the studies, 3 phases. It is approved by us for this indication. So we apply for something called new drug application, NDA, okay, where we will get the approval. And this approval, we get it from international regulatory authorities. In each country, we have a certain international regulatory authority. You get this approval according to where you want to market this drug, where you want to sell it. For example, in in Canada, you sell it, so you apply to Health Canada. In the US, the FDA. In Europe, it is the EMA. And in many different parts of the world. The most important 2, where 90% of medications are approved, okay, are the European Medicines Agency, which is the EMA, and the second one, which is the FDA. Okay, most medications are approved by this. And even in this step of approval, we have artificial intelligence applications that have new trends now, and old people like me are learning about them, how to apply for your drug approval through artificial intelligence-led applications. Okay, now, what is the difference between the EMA and the US FDA? It is only the length of the process. Okay, in EMA and the steps. In EMA, we have many steps, and if you see different trajectories, different lengths of time. Okay, while in the FDA, it also has its own steps, its own filing decisions, its own filings. But in general, these 2 steps, whether EMA or FDA, they take from 1 to 14 months in order to get an approval for the new drug application, or you have IND or NDA, new drug application. Okay. So this is these are the 2 regulatory bodies. After we apply for the drug, we get the approval, we want to market it. We are very happy we got our approval. We go to the doctors, medical reps they will market this medication. We will go to the pharmacies, we will sell them the medication to dispense. Okay, so this is the 4th step, which is phase 4. Now the medication is in the hand of people and they are taking it. I want to show you something. Now we are in the post-marketing surveillance phase, which is phase 4. Let me review. In the first phase here, we were looking for safety. I don't want to look if it's efficacious or not. I want to be sure it's safe. After safety, in phase 2, I look for efficacy. After efficacy, I confirm my efficacy on a larger number of people. For example, here, I carry out the study on 100 to 300 people. In the confirmation phase, from 300 to 3,000 people. So side effects can have more chances to appear. And finally, phase 4, which I'm going to talk about, it is a follow-up phase. After the treatment is approved, I want to see how does it work on other patients. Remember that in the clinical trials, we only take patients who have this disease, for example, because we are targeting it on them, okay? But we don't take vulnerable groups, meaning that we don't take pregnant ladies, we don't take old people, and we don't take children, pediatrics, and we don't take people who have comorbidities, other diseases. This is the clinical trial. So when the medication is put on market, It is prescribed to people, to young children, to to women, to pregnant women, ladies, although they have the dosages, but still we don't have the real world data about that. Okay, so often this phase is for that, to follow up on all the side effects which didn't appear in the phase 4. Okay, as we said, it is phase 4 is designed to evaluate the long-term safety and efficacy. It is called post-marketing surveys, and here we have the application of the science, which is called pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance is applied here. It is the science and activities related to the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects or other drug-related problems. And artificial intelligence is now playing. I am the ambassador of pharmacovigilance for the Global Pharmacovigilance Society. We are daily taking new courses about the application of artificial intelligence in pharmacovigilance, how to detect them, how to assess them, how to understand them, and how to prevent them through artificial intelligence. I will tell you how. Okay, so this is the pharmacovigilance process in very, very, very broad terms. You have reports that come regarding side effects of medication, either spontaneous reports from people. I gave my son medication. He has a side effect. I call the Ministry of Health. There are spontaneous reporting stations. Please, my son had a side effect of this medication. Either I tell his doctor, etc. From clinical trial data, from regulatory reports, licensed partners, all of these collect all the reports of the side effects. They process them into a certain report called the ICSR report. I will not talk about that. One day maybe me and Naham and I will make a course or something about pharmacovigilance, hopefully. Okay, so this is the second process where we make the report. The third step is the aggregate reports. I will not go into that. It is and there are 3 types of aggregate reports. They are very complicated. I will not talk about them. Okay, and finally, we have the submission of these reports, and we have many actions that must be taken. They will review the marketing status of the medication. They will either change the dosage, either remove one indication and put another indication, either put a new indication. As you know, the medication Viagra was not at the beginning a medication for impotency. Okay, it was a medication for it was not for erectile dysfunction. It was a medication for the heart. And one of the side effects, it improved the sexual activity for people who have erectile dysfunction. And after many new clinical trials, they have made a new indication for it, which is the for erectile dysfunction. How did they know that? Through all this process. Many people were spontaneously reporting. For example, someone is taking this for the heart. He goes to his doctor. He told him, how is your life going? My sexual activity improved. 1 report, 2 report, 3 report, 4 reports. Then they made an ICSR. The company made an ICSR processed report, aggregate reports, and then they made a new indication. Pharmacovigilance, in my opinion, is one of the most important steps in many medication. You cannot bring a medication which is made up of chemicals and throw it in the market and don't know what's going to happen. Many medications have been retracted also from the market. For example, thalidomide, when after 30 years they discovered that pregnant women who are taking thalidomide are having a birth of babies with no limbs. Okay, so this is very important. And any one of you who is taking a medication who has unusual side effect, you have to report it to your doctor or to a pharmacovigilance system in your country. You are saving human kind if you are doing it. Okay, now, so this is the final step in this process. And as I said, drug discovery process. This is the preclinical phase. To sum it up, the drug is approved for human testing. You go to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then you submit for the FDA to sell the drug. FDA will approve, and you will go to phase 4, which is the pharmacovigilance phase. Okay, now, artificial intelligence-driven research. How is it affecting this whole process? Okay, we will talk about the 4 phases where it has a hand in them and it is affecting them. Let us begin with the drug discovery and development, okay? In drug discovery and development, which is all these processes, target discovery, target validation, lead compound identification, and lead compound optimization, we will take each one of these and I will tell you what is happening. In target discovery, you know, you have many molecules and you want, you have, yes, many molecules in the body. You have to know which one is responsible for the disease. Artificial intelligence can analyze massive, when I say massive, I say trillions of amounts of biological data to identify that drug target, which is the molecule responsible for the disease, okay? This analysis involves something called genetic analysis, proteomic analysis, and other data to find which proteins and which pathways are implicated in the disease. This step used to take 10 years from the life of the drug discovery. By the way, it takes 20 years to discover a real drug from scratch. I'm not talking about the drugs which are repurposing drugs. Repurposing meaning that you have a drug and you have a new indication for it, okay, either by discovery or intentionally. But I'm talking about from scratch. It takes 20 years, 17 to 20 years, okay? This step, it is minimized from maybe 5 to 10 years until 1 year and a half, imagine, okay? Second, machine learning algorithms, which is a part or subset of artificial intelligence, can help to predict which molecules might be effective targets. Prediction is very important. You have millions of molecules and a horrendous amount of data. So it helps in that, okay? Now, we go to the second step, if you remember it, the target validation. After we find this molecule which is responsible for the disease, artificial intelligence can aid in the relevance and potentiality for drug, okay? This can help prioritize targets. Prioritize it meaning that you have this molecule, it is in the first place, and the second is of less importance. The third is responsible for 30% of the disease process. The fourth is responsible for 10% of the disease process, and it will give you the highest potential for successful drug development, okay? So, in prioritizing the targets. By the way, we can go in more details and talking about, I can make a whole lecture just with the title prioritizing targets in artificial intelligence, but it has a huge amount of data. We will need 10 hours to finish, okay? The third step, which is lead compound identification, it can accelerate the process by how? By predicting the interaction between molecules and target proteins. How does it do that? Remember, the lead compound, now we have the compound of the medication, and we have this molecule which causes the disease. Now it will predict the interaction between these. How? By virtual screening, it can give you virtual videos how it is done. By molecular docking, it is a whole process. I will not go into detail. It is a lengthy process to explain. And by artificial intelligence predictive models. We have something called predictive models where you have it can give you many predictions. If you attack it from here, if you attack it from there, you have to attack this enzyme, you know, the enzyme, and it has like a key and lock, okay? So it can make that through virtual screening, molecular docking, and predictive models, okay? And this can help identify the molecules that have the high probability of binding to the target of interest. We go to the lead compound optimization. It can assist in their properties in predicting how modifications to the chemical structure of a compound might affect 3 things. The binding affinity, as I told you, optimization is polishing the whole molecule for the final end result. So it will show you binding if you change this bonding in this molecule, what is the binding affinity of it, the percentage, the pharmacokinetics, and most importantly, the toxicity. Okay, so in each step you see we have artificial intelligence-led application that will more than make it faster, more precise, because human can make error, but machines, they are very precise. Okay, now we go to the other step of the clinical drug discovery process, which is the preclinical research, which is, here I will remind you about the animals. What does it do? This is very important. Data analysis and integration. we have a huge number of data in all the steps of the clinical research. Here, it helps us to identify patterns, correlations, and insights that might not be apparent in the traditional methods. Okay, therefore, it will help in data analysis and integration. In predictive modeling, I mentioned that before, to forecast the potential outcomes, that if I give this to this mouse, what will happen of the different drug candidates, estimating toxicity, efficacy, and potential side effects. We have huge simulation programs for that, as well as it gives us proofs by numbers and by outcome predictions. Okay, disease modeling. Imagine that it can assist in us in creating accurate models of diseases in animals. You will have a virtual animal, you will have a disease in this animal, and it will help you in creating a disease and testing this animal virtually for studying the effects of the drugs. Okay, meaning then mimicking human diseases. Okay, and finally, this will end up in something very important. It improves the efficacy of experimental designs by reducing the number of real animals which are needed for these preclinical studies. Okay, so reduction in animal use is very important. This is regarding the preclinical research. We come to the artificial application and intelligence application in clinical trials in all these phases. Okay, let us talk about phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then we'll talk about the other ones. In phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, nowadays, we know the traditional or the classic clinical trials. After that, after the corona, we had something more advanced called the decentralized clinical trials. We'll not talk about them, okay, where the patient doesn't go to the hospital comes to the patient by mobile nurses and etc. It's a whole story. And then now we have something called the smart trials. Smart clinical trials, okay, like smartphones, smartwatch. First of all, the first thing that artificial intelligence helps in smart trials is dose finding as escalation. Artificial intelligence algorithms, and algorithms is a huge concept in artificial intelligence, you can go search for it, can analyze early before even giving it to people. We put the data of the people, I recruit people for the clinical trial, I enter all their data, what medications they take, their age, their name, their medication, their disease. We can analyze early safety and efficacy data to predict the dose range in the many phases. For example, in phase 1, for this group of people, you give them this dose range according to their situation, their disease, their vital signs, their etc. This helps avoid unnecessary high doses or low doses and improve patient safety. Second thing, patient selection. We feed in the data related to our objective and outcome endpoints, and then we will, and whatever data we have, what do we want from this clinical trial, it will identify for us the suitable patients for phase 1 trials, phase 2, phase 3, etc., depending on the genetic, molecular, and clinical data that I feed. This is a personalized approach which can enhance the chances of the success of the clinical trial, because sometimes if you recruit the wrong people, maybe their body doesn't have this disease as I wanted to be treated. Okay, so we were people were more positive to the medication, and I will have a real, good endpoints or end results. Okay. Third thing, patient recruitment and enrollment. It can analyze in other countries. In Lebanon, we have it. We have the national electronic health records. Okay. National electronic health records, where everything, if you sneeze, you have all the information. So it can go, it analyzes electronic health records and identify for you eligible patients. You want this disease, you are making your study clinical trial on this disease, on this medication, you have this data, you input it, you go in one button, it gives you a number, phone numbers of 5,000 people who are electronically analyzed, who are identified to be eligible with this for this study. It will hugely accelerate the recruitment process and reduce trial days, as well as it is more precise. Okay. Then endpoint prediction. It can predict the likelihood of successful endpoint based on what? On patient characteristics. And it will help you to make more decisions regarding the treatment, continue it or not to continue, to stop it, etc. Okay? Biomarker identification, it helps to identify relevant biomarkers that really correlate with the treatment response or disease progression. And why is this important? It is very important in stratifying patients and personalizing treatments in the clinical trial. And it is very important for data quality and control. You every period of time, for example, every 3 months, you get the data and you make a quick analysis, just analysis in order to identify the integrity of the data, inconsistencies, errors. Imagine doing it by SPSS or by SAS in one click of a button. It can give you the progress of the data. You can stop, you have something wrong in filling the data, whatever. Okay, it will save a huge amount of time as well as money and as well as human lives. Okay, and finally, remote monitoring, artificial intelligence, wearable devices. People nowadays, instead of getting them to the hospital 3 times per day to take their blood pressure, you can give them a wearable device and you can remotely monitor them, and you can remotely collect patient data outside the clinical settings without getting them home. This will improve data accuracy and patient compliance. Okay, finally, this is the final one. No, sorry, still we don't have finally. Patient adherence and retention. Okay, it will improve. This will improve patient adherence, because if I have to go 3 times per day to the hospital to take my blood pressure, and if I have to bring a paper and pencil and I will record every time I take the medication. Even they have appliances for medication dispensing, meaning that whenever you click on this, it will give you 1 pill, it will record automatically, electronically, -1. It will, and the time of the pill and how did you take it? When did you take it? Okay, so it will give more adherence, more compliance, and patients will stay more in the clinical trial, and will have less dropouts from the clinical trial. Okay. Overall trial management, this is automation and this is artificial intelligence, where it can help you in automate trial management tasks, track everything from your bed. Okay, if you are a PI on clinical trial, and it will help you in even managing regulatory compliance, because everything is monitored and everything on the spot. You don't have to wait 1 week in order to check all the documents. No, you have everything. Aslan, really, it can give you alerts whenever you have something wrong, inconsistencies, etc. Okay, even for patients, going back to this patient adherence and retention, for example, one of the patients didn't take this pill now, and after noon he didn't have take the other pill. Okay, so it will give a notification on your laptop in the hospital. Patient number kaza kaza, he did not take the pill for 2 doses. He missed 2 doses. You will call them. You didn't take the pill for 2 doses. Okay. This is regarding the clinical trial. By the way, this is only a summary and some of the features of artificial intelligence. Okay, in clinical trials. Finally, the final part is artificial intelligence applications in pharmacovigilance. As I told you, these are all the steps. Artificial intelligence, what does it do? These are the steps. Artificial intelligence here, when we have the aggregate report, and when we have something very bad for the medication, we will have a signal worldwide. This medication is having a red signal regarding this side effect. So here in artificial intelligence, signal detection and analysis, you will, in seconds, you will process vast amounts of data to identify signals from all over the world regarding this medication. Instead of waiting and calling each regulatory agency in each country, okay, do you have any signal detection about Panadol, for example? It will all be found in the Uppsala Monitoring Center or the VGBase. These are 2 centers worldwide which are responsible for the collection of these reports. Okay, automated case processing. Whenever you have a case, I submitted a case for my doctor. The doctor submitted to regulatory agencies. They will sit, they will look at the files, they will invite me for an interview. What did you take? How did you take it, etc. Here, they will extract the relevant information from unstructured text into patient narratives. How did I tell them? They will make it. They will look at my medical records and other documents, and the case is processed within 30 minutes. On the other hand, by human work, it will be processed within 2 or 3 days, for example. Predictive analysis, it predicts potential adverse reactions based on patient characteristics, medical history, and other factors. And it will, even before having side effects, it will inform us that among this population, according to their genetic predisposition, according to their history of side effects for medications similar to this medication, we may have. It will open our eyes. Okay? Safety signal prioritization. If we have several reports, it will be able to prioritize which is most important process before the other one according to the safety of the medication. The more the medication is hazard, the more it is processed fast. Okay? Drug labeling and documentation. It within minutes, within seconds, it can change the whole drug label and documentation, the insert leaflet, and it will always update it with the latest safety information. Within minutes, you can click update according all to the ICSR reports, etc., etc., and you can print in 1 second a new label distributed to the whole world for the medication. Okay? This is the whole story of artificial intelligence involvement in the pharmacy process, pharmaceutical research process. Don't forget, this needs 10, 20, 30 even sessions in order to cover it all. And we are only covering it in 1 hour. So I gave you only the points, and you can delve deeper in that. Now, the power of artificial intelligence, advantages. It is very important for automation of repetitive tasks. We must be fair. We will have to talk about advantages and disadvantages. Automation of repetitive tasks. It reduces the human errors, definitely. It has more room for creativity. You can be more creative in all the applications that you have, reducing cost, time, resources, and this is definite. And I will give you an example of the time, cost, and resources. And definitely, it gives you increased accuracy. Okay, this is an example. Look at the first row. This is a conventional classic drug discovery process. It takes 6.5 years here, 7 years here, 1.5, add them up, okay? While on the artificial intelligence-driven conventional, you see from by eyesight, you can see that it is the whole process is shorter, okay? You add them up, the whole process is much shorter. Definitely more accurate, much shorter, and you will reduce human resources, etc. Okay, now, artificial intelligence is fearful. I fear artificial intelligence. These are the advantages. I will not talk about the disadvantages as I listed them, but I want to tell you something, that artificial intelligence is reaching a stage where all the sci-fi movies that might become reality. One day, I'm afraid I'll go on the street and I will find Terminator in front of me, or the iRobot, or we will live the Matrix, okay? War games, we will see laser lights in the sky. Believe me, we might live in reality the sci-fi movies. Some of you may be happy for that. My son was so happy. He told me, finally, my dream came true. No, it is something as a threat, I consider it. Artificial intelligence is a threat. Elon Musk recently commented on Twitter that artificial intelligence is more dangerous than North Korea. You'll never know, by one click of a button, our whole lives might change. Okay, why I'm telling you that? I'm telling you that to know that artificial intelligence is only as good as the humans programming it. Okay, this is the risk. It is a machine. If you program it with something bad, it will destroy the human whole humanity. And if you program it with something good, it will give us good deeds. So artificial intelligence is only as good as the humans programming it and the system in which it operates. If we are not careful, artificial intelligence could not make healthcare better, but instead, unintentionally, sometimes unintentionally, exacerbate many of the worst aspects of our current healthcare system. In meaning that you have to work with artificial intelligence, but keep an eye open. And don't think that it is more clever than you. You invented it. You are clever. You are the one who is the master of the game. Okay? Finally, I like this picture which says, be aware that humans are always the key of success or unsuccess. So if our artificial intelligence one day fails us, it will be due to us, not due to it, because we misfed it and we misfill it with everything bad. Okay, thank you so much. I'm so happy for delivering this session. I'm so happy for being with you in this session, and thank you so much for Dr. Nagam for all your time among all your busy schedule, all your busy schedule. Thank you
Habibti
so much.
Sama, it was a wonderful session. I really enjoyed from my side. It's really very good.
Thank you
يعني
so much. Thank you
والله
so
يعني
much.
it's very nice, very well informative, and you cover all of the aspects in a very nice way. And يعني the artificial intelligence is very complicated, but you cover it in a very simple, clear way, Habibti. So
Thank
really,
you so much.
thank you so much, and I will leave the floor for the question and answer.
Just, yes, please prepare your questions. But I just want to tell you something, Nagam. As I told our lovely friends here, really, the topic is huge, Nagam. Each slide, we can make a whole course, imagine, about each slide. When I was preparing the session, I cannot explain everything. Really, it will take 2 hours, not hours, 2 months to finish. So this is it. But I hope I give you a quick idea about that. Thank you for all the wonderful messages that we are getting, Nagam, about this topic, about this session. I really appreciate all your words, and thank you for everything. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Todd. Some of them they ask about the presentation, so just keep in mind the session will be recorded and the presentation will be available in the IVPN library as a recorded session, so you have like an access to it at any time forever. Okay.
Thank you so much, dear all. I really appreciate your wonderful session, your wonderful messages. Thank you.
And thank you, very comprehensive, but you described legal and so thank you. All are there. Thank you, thank you. They are all thank you, Sama.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, if there is any specific question, just here we can answer.
I am very ready.
Yep.
You can always connect to, they are asking how they can connect to me. Definitely. May I put my email, Naga?
Yeah, sure, Habibti. So, one of the attendees say, can we get the certificate for this webinar? Yes, you do. We can just, we will have it like, give us like a week or 10 days, and then we'll send it to you by email. Yumna asked, as a researcher and pharmaceutical professional, how much do we interact with doctor and other healthcare professional? And how much does this impact your trial?
1 second, I am writing. 1 second, I'm writing my
Okay.
email. Okay, but wait. Okay. Sorry, where is the question? Can you repeat it, Nagam? Sorry.
Yumna, she asked, Yumna Hassanin, she said, as a researcher and pharmaceutical professional, how much do you interact with doctors and other healthcare professionals? And how
Okay.
much does that impact your trials?
Okay, according to what is your position? For example, if you are a pharmaceutical, if you are a pharmacist, if you work in a hospital, you interact mostly with doctors. Okay, if you work in a company, you interact in the industry, in the industrial pharmacy. This is what I understood from the question, if it is right. Okay, okay. As a researcher and pharmaceutical, how much do you interact with doctors and other healthcare professionals? First of all, Yumna, thank you for the question. I found it now. Sorry. Can you hear me, Nagam? Because it is giving me a weak signal. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Pharmaceutical professional or researcher during the clinical trial, if you mean, definitely you interact with the doctors and the healthcare professionals according to your position in the clinical trial. If you are the PI, you are responsible for the whole trial, you are managing it. If you work in a CRO, okay, clinical research organization, as a CRA, clinical research associate or assistant, you are someone who is going to make the audits over the for the clinical trial. You are the bridge between the CRO or the company as well as the hospital and the PI. If you are a clinical research coordinator, you are a staff from the hospital, you are responsible for the daily activities of the clinical trial, and you also interact with the CRO. So it depends on the position that you are in and your role or job or function in this trial. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Another question, do you think AI can be used by companies to choose subjects that will respond to the drug artificially and inflate the efficacy? Definitely, of the drug versus having all comers which represent real world patients? This is Maribeth. Thank you so much for this question. This is one of the risks or one of the harmful things that happen and I'm afraid of. And this is why I have put the two last slides. They can manipulate data. They can manipulate the efficacy of the drug. They can artificially invent new efficacy data, new efficacy models. Okay, they can do that definitely. And this is why I told you it is a sword with two edges. Okay, we are very happy about it now, but God knows where it will lead. So I definitely agree with you. Okay. As I understood, artificial.
By the way, Maribeth, thank you, Maribeth. She's one of my old friends while in my old work. She was in Saudi Arabia, but she's from USA. So thank you, Maribeth, for your attendance. It's appreciated.
Well,
Love you.
no one can miss your lovely moderation sessions, dear.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay. No problem. As I understood, artificial intelligence works by pre-fed data, definitely. So for totally new drug discovery, that is new pharmacological entity, can we still utilize it? Definitely. Let me tell you something. For a new entity, there are libraries. There are always a big library of trillions of molecules. From these, they choose, okay? So they don't sit and they bring a hydrogen and oxygen and carbon and they put it together. No, they have trillions of molecules in a library of molecules worldwide. It is known for chemists and for pharmaceutical companies, and from those they will search. Okay. Choose meaning the inclusion exclusion criteria at the start of the study. I didn't understand, dear Maribeth, this question. You can see it, Nagam. Choose meaning the inclusion exclusion criteria at the start of, maybe it is a continuation of the first question. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, if you want, you can explain the question more. I didn't understand it. Are we going to have the recording? Definitely. What qualification is required for being an artificial intelligence professional in clinical trial? You must be definitely, if you are involved in a clinical trial. In the clinical trial, we have many professionals. If you are a statistical analysis, a biostatistician in a clinical trial, you should study the new methods or new applications that are applied in clinical analysis. Okay, if you are a pharmacist, according to which phase of the clinical trial you are. What is required from you, by the way, it is only training on the new applications. You have the science. For example, now, Nagam and I and everybody here in the session, we all have the science for the for being in a clinical trial. Only we have to be involved in being trained on the applications of these being trained on these applications that we will use. For example, in recruitment, okay, I know how to manually recruit people. What will happen is that I will be trained on the system or the program that will recruit people. Okay, this is it. Just you will be. On the other hand, if you are involved in designing artificial intelligence program, then you will need to be a computer scientist and study. There is a major, by the way, Nagam, do you know our friend who is Ranat Zaghul, who is in IVPN? Now she is studying a master's in artificial intelligence. So you can go that far. May I ask a related question, but not on artificial intelligence, how to enroll in the field of clinical research trials, PVI? This is Samah. I will type my email here. You can talk to me about that because this is a very lengthy reply. I don't want to reply to you. I sent you my email. I don't want to reply to you quickly and not accurate reply. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Do you think artificial intelligence has brought you and other professions together to reduce the need for you to communicate and interact with doctors? No. It will not, by the way, it will not reduce the need for us, because still we are needed. By the way, at a certain point, you still need the human decision, because if a doctor is there and he is making a decision depending on artificial intelligence for a human treatment, for a patient treatment, at the end of the day, he will have the answer from this machine. But there is also the taking into consideration the decision of the patient himself, of his family, of his preference, of his situation, of his culture. Okay, so you cannot apply all. Okay, so these artificial intelligence will not reduce our role, and will not reduce the communication between us, between other doctors. We still need we get the result from the artificial intelligence machine. Okay, we will discuss it with the doctor. It will only fasten the process. Okay. Will artificial intelligence be served on data integrity, as patient information is very critical? I am afraid of that, dear Wasim. There are many. I attended a lecture regarding data integrity. There are many. There is a huge fear about that regarding the data security. Regarding, we don't know. By the way, this artificial intelligence system is put by huge minds worldwide, and all the countries that are decision makers in the world. We don't know even our data, where is it going and how it will be used. So I am not sure if it is safe, to be honest. I am not sure about the integrity of it. I am not sure about some, maybe they will get the data and someday they will lock it and you will not get beyond that. Okay, will not be able to get it again. How can artificial intelligence help specifically in drug development? Wasim, I talked about that lengthy here. You have mentioned the last question, Nagam. You have mentioned about research coordination, the PI roles, and the use of artificial in clinical research. Can you mention some tools to learn about them? I will send you my email. Send me an email and send me back the reply. Okay, because it is a huge list. Okay, at hotmail.com. Wonderful session, wonderful questions from our attendees. And by the way, we had the wonderful comments, dear Nagam. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for your beautiful comments. I have a wonderful comment from your friend. She has put a wonderful comment also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sama. Thank you, sis. A great effort. We really appreciate it. And someone asked
yes,
about
Maribeth, she was saying excellent overview, very logical and comprehensive, fabulous slides, great work. Thank you. You are great audience.
Hello, you are all. We have a great attendees, to be honest. And
definitely.
The ethics in AI will be discussed in the rest of the series. So stay tuned and we'll keep follow us. And thank you for your attendance again and have a great night.
Thank you so much. Love you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.